Okay, guys, really quick video on the constitutional compromises. This should be a review from AP Government. Um, so basically, the Federalists and Anti-Federalists eventually work it out, and they're going to agree to the Constitution. The reason the Anti-Federalists agree to the Constitution is because it's going to include this Bill of Rights, which actually that in and of itself was a compromise as well, because the Federalists did not want to include the Bill of Rights with the Constitution. But the Anti-Federalists basically said we're not doing this thing unless we get that Bill of Rights that guarantees things like free speech, freedom of religion, and then there's a whole lot in there about the rights of the accused, and that's because the Anti-Federalists were totally freaked out by the idea of this federal judiciary. All right, so the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, right? Lots of compromises coming together there. Some key vocab. Bicameral means two houses. You're going to see a lot of College Board, well, not a lot, but you're going to see some multiple choice questions from the College Board that mention the word bicameral. I always get kids asking me every year, what does bicameral mean? It means two houses. Under the Articles of Confederation, you have this one house, unicameral house. Basically, each state had equal representation in this one Congress. Today, under the Constitution, we have a bicameral legislature, meaning two houses. We have the House of Representatives, and then we have the Senate as well. Okay, so one of the big questions was representation in Congress. The Virginia plan, basically the large states came together and said, hey, it's not fair if we just have equal representation in the Congress with these states. Reason being is Virginia at this time was super big and Rhode Island was really small. So basically Virginia was like, hey, this is not fair if Rhode Island has equal representation to us in this new Congress. Being that we have more people, shouldn't we have more weight in in both houses? Okay. The New Jersey plan, basically the small states got together and said, no, we want equal representation. This is one of the big holdups as they are working through this constitutional convention, basically this meeting where they're going to try and determine if this constitution can happen and determine what's in it. Basically, they come together and they create this great compromise. All right. It's also known as the Connecticut Compromise. And what we get is we get equal representation in the Senate. So each state gets 2 senators in the Senate, right? Today, that's 100 senators, 2 per 50 states. And then in the House of Representatives, it's based on population, right? So you have California with their 53 representatives. You have Georgia with their 14 representatives. You have Wyoming with their 1, right? Wyoming actually has 2 senators and only one representative. 3/5 compromise, another really important compromise. When they agreed to the fact that the states in the House, it's going to be based on population. Southern states are trying to count their slaves. I'm really sorry about my dog barking. Southern states are trying to count their slaves